The Twins beat the Blue Jays in the rubber match Sunday, win the series in Toronto. Let's break it down on today's Locked On Twins postcast.
You are Locked On Twins postcast, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, your team every day.
And welcome to another edition of our Locked On Twins postcast. Today is Sunday, June 5th. I'm the host of Locked On Twins, Nash Walker, here with writer and reporter at Access Twins, Brandon Warren. We want to let you know that BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. That's betonline.net. Find all of the latest sports developments, news, and odds, including this year's basketball championship matchup between the Celtics and Warriors, the NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and, of course, all the latest fighting news from MMA and UFC to boxing. Go to betonline.net. Brandon, Twins survive in the series finale Sunday. It would have been a bad loss, but they stopped it from happening.
Yeah, and I got a little bit of a Chris Sale in 2015 vibe for how the Twins ambushed Kevin Gausman today. Doesn't get out of the fourth and just did not look comfortable. It seemed to me like the Twins were really honed in on his splitter, especially. And I don't know if it's possible he was tipping it because there were a lot of really good takes. And so, beyond that, though, it took them a little while to get going again. We've seen this Twins offense have stretches, 4, 5, 6 innings of no runs and then come back and score again. And those insurance runs in the eighth end up being the difference. So not bad that they went out and got a couple more late homers by Sanchez. Sanchez was the insurance. So, yeah, glad they got it when they did.
That was the knock on Gausman in free agency. He's kind of a two-pitch pitcher, great splitter, but when the splitter's not there, he's not getting chases, he's susceptible because the slider is not where he probably would like it to be. So the Twins took advantage of that. Very simple approach, Brandon. They hit the ball to all fields, especially to the opposite field. Luis Arraez has 4 hits, now leads the league in hitting, leads everybody in on-base percentage and average. But it was a really simple approach today for this offense.
Yeah, and we were talking about Celestino on Twitter, and so he had, when I looked, 20 hits, and it was 5 to left, 5 to center, and 15 to right. That's not 20 hits, that's 25. Bad math. But yeah, so he's very much wearing out the opposite field, and you just can't say enough of how good he is. 3 hits today coming off the injured list for the first time in a while, or playing for the first time in a while after coming off the injured list. And just top to bottom offense, at least 1 hit for every guy who started, 16 hits in total. That's a good way to fire up the run machine.
Kyle says, for what it's worth, Toronto broadcast also mentioned that Gausman might have been tipping his pitches. Nothing definitive, but they suggested it might be happening. We said it when Celestino was still on the COVID list, Brandon. They missed him, and he comes back today, and not just 3 hits. He's been so great as a filler for Byron Buxton. I'm not surprised because we knew he was talented, but I am really, really optimistic now about Gilberto Celestino and his role in the future for the Twins.
Yeah, because it's not going to be the role of a typical fourth outfielder, especially if Buxton has to have his playing time ratcheted down, whether it's short-term, medium-term, long-term. Having a good running mate for him, having a good vice president to his presidency is certainly not a bad thing. So it's not like a fourth outfielder where you expect to start maybe once or twice a week, a la the old days, like a Jason Repko or a Jake Cave for a more recent reference. But it's going to be a role that a guy can get enough playing time where you don't have to worry about sending him back because he's rotting on the bench. And he's answered the bell. 416 on base. I mean, holy smokes. And defensively, he does everything you want.
Tyler Duffy almost blew this game. Anthony says DFA Tyler Duffy immediately is not an MLB reliever anymore. Arraez is great. And the Sanchez went deep. Let's talk about that, Brandon. Tyler Duffy, do you think there's still a spot for him on a first-place team in the back of that bullpen? We've defended him at times. We've been critical of him at times. Where are you standing on that right now? I mean, it's right now, but overall.
I think at this point, Havani Moran probably moves up above him in the hierarchy if he wasn't already. But we're getting to a point where Manaea could jump over him. Jarrell Cotton could jump over him. And I'm curious to see if Cotton gets another look with this team pretty soon. The only real issue that Cotton has been walks, but a sub-1 ERA, He throws that goofy changeup that he kind of reminds me of Fernando Abad, except righty instead of lefty from a few years ago. And so, yeah, I think Duffy at this point probably starts working some of those when you're losing 8-3 as opposed to when you're winning 8-3. And the plan probably wasn't for him to even come out for the ninth inning. The plan was probably for Duran until he got hit by that line drive, which, fortunately he stayed in the game and actually hit 103 on the gun after. But yeah, you start worrying, your brain starts going to some places after you've seen how this Twins team has dealt with injuries this season.
With spring and now summer in the air, it's a time of renewal and growth personally and professionally. As your small business grows, LinkedIn Jobs is here to make it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster and for free. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Overall, Brandon, Twins win the series in Toronto. Was very scared coming in personally, but I think you had said and predicted like they'll probably go to Toronto and take 2 out of 3, and that's exactly what they did.
I keep thinking when you do that LinkedIn ad, you're going to talk about the Twins bullpen having openings and people should apply for that. So that's why I wasn't going to interrupt you during the read, but yeah, no, let's give some credit to Devin Smeltzer because 4 innings. I mean, that's not, 62 pitches. He probably could have gone out for a 5th. And in fact, I would have done that, but this is a right-handed heavy Blue Jays offense that came into today with a 107 weighted runs created plus against lefties. Now that's important to remember because Vladimir Guerrero is not off to a good start this season. He's kind of up and down. I mean, he's crushed the ball this series, but you haven't had George Springer in there every day. Matt Chapman has not been Matt Chapman. So this is a right-handed heavy lineup. Alejandro Kirk having a really nice season.
9 righties.
Yeah, give so much credit to Devin Smeltzer for 4 innings. That's 4 more than I would have expected. And 2, giving up that home run to Springer to lead off the game. I was starting to think that it might not be it might be similar to yesterday where runs were fast and furious early on. Luckily, it wasn't the case.
You mentioned you would have left Smeltzer out there. So Indini wonders, why did Rocco take Jax or even Cotton out after their stellar innings? You know what, Brandon? I did wonder on Jax. I didn't wonder on Cotton after the 5th. I thought Griffin could have got out for the 7th. What's your view of that?
Yeah, I thought maybe it would have been, 6-7 for Jax, 8-9 for Duran, or something mix and match with Smith. But for me, it comes down to it. What happened worked, and if it hadn't have worked, we would have questioned that too. Because why are you trying to get more than 1 inning out of Jarrell Cotton? You've got this full bullpen. I mean, they have thrown some innings of late, but you've got bodies. But at the same time, too, Cotton hasn't had great command. I think he's got 6 walks and 9 2/3 or something like that. It's all about managing expectations and managing what you ask of guys who are giving you more than you expected. For Jax, I probably would have gone back to the well with him for 2 innings, but now 1 inning today, a day off tomorrow, he's probably rip-roaring ready to go into the next series.
This is one of those lineups that reminds me of Boston's lineup. They have, Devers, Martinez, Bogarts. You're almost planning around the middle of the order all series. How are we going to get outs in the middle of the order? Josiah said Kirilloff with 2 home runs today. Wow. Is he playing on Tuesday, Brandon? Actually, there was a video of Rocco Baldelli before the game and his lineup. It's a Game 1 New York Yankees lineup card. And we've heard that they make lineup cards in advance. I don't know if that's the one. Yes, but Kirilloff's name was not on it. I don't know if that means anything, but what's your view of AK right now?
Yeah, usually they map it out about a week in advance because there was a couple times I spied looks on maybe Paul Molitor's desk and saw some lineups for the next week or so. And so it may not mean a lot. And I don't know who's slated to pitch that day. And, it's mixing and matching. And fortunately, wherever they are, whether it's St. Paul or in the league, it's not that far off. But yeah, he can't be that far off. Also, Spencer Steer hit 3 home runs today. So bombs over St. Paul, I guess, but, or wherever they're playing. I guess I don't know if they're in St. Paul. But yeah, AK's got to be coming back pretty soon. And I'm sure, I guess it doesn't help that Celestino's back and playing pretty good. And then Miranda's kind of figured it out. So again, good problem to have. This offense has not been scoring runs consistently. I suspect AK will be back relatively soon.
Happy flights back home to Target Field. Before we finish, let's talk about this Yankees series. Jameson Taillon Nestor Cortez, Garrett Cole in order for the Twins. Sounds like Bundy Wednesday or Archer Thursday. Bundy and Archer look like they're going to pitch in this series. Joe Ryan, unlikely to pitch in this series. But this, again, like this weekend, feels like if they can get one, that's probably the expectation.
Well, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but if the Twins don't go better than 5-4 in this 9-game stretch, I don't know if it'll break any rules, but I've got to wear a Chicago White Sox hat.
Oh, no.
POSTCAST. I said they'd go at least 5-4 in this 9-game stretch. So 2-1 so far. So what does that mean? 3-3 the rest of the way?
Yeah.
I think that's doable.
Yeah. Yep. I look at Tampa. Wander Franco's out. Brandon Lau's out. Both unlikely to play in the Tampa series next weekend. Much less scary lineup without those two. They're two best hitters with Randy Rosarena.
And do you get McClanahan? Let's see.
Right.
Right. I'm looking
at it. I think they do because the Rays have a day off. I think McClanahan might open Friday's game, but they might miss him.
It says Rasmussen, Yarbrough, Springs on ESPN. Now, that doesn't mean it's for sure locked in.
That would be great.
Locked in on Locked On, right? But that would be a good trio. Rasmussen, Yarbrough. Yarbrough got smoked today. And then Springs, who's been good, but he's one of those post-hype guys. He's like 29 years old and pitching his guts out this season. So could be a fun series.
Yeah, I might focus on the week more than the series for the Yankees and Rays. If they can go 3-3, I think that would be a nice week at home. Win the series.
And no White Sox hat.
No White Sox. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Brandon, thank you so much. I hope when I see you, we will not be wearing that hat. I hope you're wearing the Access Twins hat or whatever cap you decide for that day. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Thanks for liking, subscribing to Locked On Sports Minnesota. We're enjoying this. We're into June. We've done a bunch of them now. We'll be here for the rest of the year. So join us. Thank you so much.